Today, I want to talk to you about how to make the mandarin orange chicken. This is one of the most popular items at Trader Joe's, and I bet the first time you tried making this, it didn't come out quite the way you wanted. I've been cooking this for a long time, and this is my favorite method to cook it because it's nice and simple and easy to follow. It just uses one pan, so there's very little cleanup. We're not going to get that exact restaurant quality, but it's going to be slightly crispier, slightly stickier, and easier to make than maybe what you were trying the first time you made it. So we're going to start with the contents of the bag. Inside the bag, you're going to get chicken and sauce, and that's basically it. That's all you need. You can add other stuff if you want to. I'm going to add a little something later, but the two things that you need, that's all you need, is the chicken and the sauce. We're going to put all the chicken into a skillet. Right here, I'm using a 10-inch Teflon non-stick skillet. And I find that the 10-inch size, if you have it, that's around the smallest size you want to go. I can kind of get everything into one layer, so that's perfect. And the reason why I'm using Teflon is because, well, I just don't want the chicken to stick onto the pan. I'm not sure if it sticks on steel or anything. I've always used Teflon, but it seems right to me. Since we're using Teflon, the one consideration that we have to make right away is what utensil we're going to use. I use a wooden spoon because you can read all about it, but you don't want to scratch up Teflon, so I try to avoid using metal spoons or metal chopsticks, metal tongs, anything like that. So wooden spoon it is. We're going to go ahead and turn the heat to medium-low or medium. The reason why we're not turning it to high is because we're taking the chicken straight from frozen and we're going to cook it. Maybe I'm being a little too cautious about this, but the reason why we want the heat to be medium-low or medium is simply just so that we don't ruin the pan. I've ruined a lot of pans trying to go way too fast. And especially for a dish like this, we have to be careful because there's not that many contact points on the chicken. So with less contact on the pan can't transfer the heat to the food as quickly. And so there's a chance that, the coil heats up the pan and the pan is supposed to heat up the food inside. But if that transfer doesn't work very well, the pan just overheats and it could warp. So we need to be careful of that. Don't put the heat too high. Of course, don't put the heat too low either, because we do want to hear a sizzle. We want to crisp up the chicken a little bit, not just warm it up. So do keep that in mind. So we're going to move it around every 3 to 5 minutes at medium or medium-low. When you start out, you actually don't need to move it all that much. It's only when you get that sizzling sound going and you feel like it should have a little flip. So you're going to shake it, flip it, stir it, however you want to do it. And, once it gets sizzling every 3 to 5 minutes, and that's going to keep going for, somewhere between 10 to 20 minutes. And you can check whether or not the chicken, you feel like the chicken is crispy enough. The chicken needs to be crispy because since we're making this in one pan, once the sauce goes in, we're going to need to reduce it, and basically what that is we're going to evaporate the water. Since the chicken is going to be in the same pot, we're basically steaming it. So we need to make it crispy enough that it's going to withstand all that steam. So we're going to heat up that chicken. Once it's crispy, now we're going to add the sauce. And this is probably what messed up most people when they tried to make this the first time. It's a little bit unexpected how runny the sauce is. If you try to serve it soon after putting the sauce in the pan and just only heating it through, you're going to end up with a separated sauce. The sauce ends up at the bottom of the plate. It doesn't adhere to the chicken very well. It's not the same experience. And the difference is that the sauce at the restaurant, it's just thicker and it's stickier and all that jazz. So what we do after we add the sauce, you can see that it's on the bottom of the pan, it's still runny. We just turn up the heat a little bit. If you were on medium-low, go to medium. If you were on medium, go to medium-high. And at this point, I wouldn't leave the kitchen. Just stay there, and once the sauce gets bubbling, give it a stir. And you'll have to stir it faster and faster as time goes on, and you just watch it. Eventually, it will, become much thicker. It'll adhere to the chicken, and you can tell, that's when it's done. Okay, now that we've talked about the sauce, I decided to be a little extra and add some snow peas. I just washed them and added them whole. I wouldn't do it the next time like this. This was just an experiment for me. Either I would have cut them in half or added something else entirely. The long strands of the... actually, I'm not sure these are snow peas. Snap peas? Snow peas? I forget. But the peas, they're a little too long, so I would cut them in half. And the taste of these, I was expecting them to be a little sweet, but instead they were a little bit on the bitter side. So, hit or miss sometimes, and this one was a miss, unfortunately. But yeah, if I were to do it again, I would definitely cut them in half. So that's how it ends up. And that's basically it. You just plate it up. I have some rice here. It's a blend of white rice and barley. I really like that combination. If you haven't tried it, you might want to give that a try. It's really nice. As you can see from the shot, I only used about half of the chicken in my plate, and that's a pretty hefty plate. So for $5, you can get enough chicken to feed 2 hefty eaters, or you can feed up to maybe 4 or 5 people in smaller amounts. So very good value in my opinion. And that's basically the whole recipe. Everything was done in one pan, so it's very easy to clean up, and the steps are more or less straightforward. It doesn't really tell you to reduce the sauce in the recipe in the back of the bag, so this took me a little bit of figuring out how to do. Let me know in the comments what you think of this recipe. If you have any other ways of preparing this that you want to share, please leave them down in the comments below. I'd love to hear that feedback. Hope you liked the video. I'll see you guys next time. Actually, before you go, I'd like to talk to you about the future of this channel. Currently, I have about 625 subscribers, and I'm very thankful for all of you who have subscribed. I've been running this channel for a few years now, and although I put a lot of thought into my videos, that seems to also be at the channel's detriment, because I allow myself to second and third guess whether or not I should actually post anything, which means that something only gets posted maybe once every 1 to 4 months, and YouTube doesn't seem to like that. I don't want to give up on the channel yet, but that means some things are going to have to change. So what I'm going to do from here on out is I hope to create videos and post them without second or third guessing whether or not I should actually post them. And I'm sorry if you can, feel the quality of the videos drop, because I have put myself to a very high standard, but my channel is still in its infancy. I feel like I have a lot of room to grow, so I'm going to play around with that room, and I really do hope you stick around for that. And in a few years, I do hope to become a channel worth watching. Thank you. Bye.